Scott Reid. He's CTV News' political commentator and former Director of Communications for Prime Minister Paul Martin. Scott, glad you could be with us here in studio. So we're hearing there from Peter MacKay. First, I want to get your sense on what you heard in this speech, because in many ways, I mean, of course, he is talking like he is already the leader of the Conservative Party, but there's a little bit of oomph I felt that was missing.
For sure. I would describe it exactly that way. I think it was a safe speech, and I can understand that, to be candid. I think, you know, this race has completely reshaped itself in the course of the past week. Pierre Poilievre dropping out, to say nothing of Rona Ambrose and Jean Charest and the days prior to that. That means that Peter MacKay is going to win this thing unless Peter MacKay finds a way to not win this thing. And he knows that. So now he's got the position of a front runner, a prohibitive winner. So today, I think you saw a couple things. He doesn't mention the past about the political party. He doesn't mention any other potential candidates. He doesn't have any work to do as an intramural candidate. All focused on the Prime Minister, focusing on safe themes that unite the Conservative Party, smaller government, you know, let's lower taxes, and suggesting that he will be a different kind of leader by implication with his emphasis of that phrase, big blue tent, i.e., not Andrew Scheer, won't be turning my back on LGBTQ, won't be saying, no, you're not welcome in our clubhouse. So it was not energized and exciting, but it was safe and probably hit all the marks.
Yeah, and it's interesting what you say, where he really focuses not on the party's past, but of course moving the party forward, and what the current government, minority government, is doing, saying that this government pits city against country, industry against industry, region against region. As Conservatives, we have a different vision for government. We believe in a government that doesn't just get out of our way. It removes barriers and clears the path before it stands aside. So, you know, that in itself, he's saying, here's the new path that we're going to be
exactly.
paving.
That speech could be a victory speech at the convention, if you think about it, right? I mean, he doesn't have the obligation, he doesn't have the necessity to address internal issues. He doesn't have to say, well, this other candidate occupies this space within the Conservative Party, I've got to carve out mine. No, he has a luxury right now of saying, let's talk as though I'm already the leader, without being presumptuous, focus on the Prime Minister, say that's the task ahead. And it does have the effect of, for those candidates who are still in the race, i.e. Aaron O'Toole, it pushes them to the margins. It sounds like MacKay is already the leader. Right. And by the way, as he was speaking, and really beginning since yesterday, we've seen a steady stream of tweets from caucus members, prominent Conservatives, all corners of the country, all parts of the party, saying, I'm with Peter. So today was maybe not exciting, maybe not energizing, but it was a show of force.
It was a show of force, but I have to ask, I mean, in this position right now where the Conservative Party is in, is a real opportunity for them to say, okay, here's what we're going to do to change the dial, and an opportunity then for other candidates to come forward and say, here's what I can now bring to the table. We didn't see that luster, or we were hoping to see that luster with Rona Ambrose. We do have Peter MacKay, Jean Charest, Pierre Poilievre, yes, Aaron O'Toole, and we know that he's throwing his hat in the ring, and it's going to make the official announcement on Monday. But what does that say about the Conservative Party and I'm just reading this way, the lack of enthusiasm to say, we're going to rip off, you know, we're going to rip up this way of doing things, and we're going to give you something that's brand new, that's shiny, and a lot of Canadians are going to be excited about, especially come the next election.
It says a couple of different things, but the withdrawal of some of those candidates, it's not the same story over and over. Rona Ambrose decided, ultimately, I don't want to do this. I think that is a loss for the party. A strong female candidate, having her voice, she would have been tough to beat. So that's one thing. Jean Charest was effectively told by the party, so long, you're not welcome, right? You belong to a different Conservative Party. You do not belong to this Conservative Party. He wanted to jump in the pool, and there was no water waiting for him. So it's a slightly different story, candidate by candidate. But here's the big impact. It does become more challenging for MacKay, because almost immediately the national dialogue will not focus on what is the Conservative Party telling us about the Conservative Party, where they're going to go, where the tensions are, having them thrash out interesting and important issues. Instead, it's going to turn on, is Peter MacKay up to the job? I mean, that's going to be that's the consequence of being the prohibitive winner, is now the starter's pistol has cracked on Peter MacKay. And so we're going to need to know, where does he stand on climate change, and how does that distinguish him from both Scheer and the Prime Minister? Where does he stand on, lower taxes? Really? Exactly what kind of lower taxes? How are you going to afford that? Are you going to really run on deficit reduction and debt reduction? Do you think that's what the burning appetite of the public is for? So all these things that he might have been able to wait for later after the race will be thrust upon him immediately, as though he is leader already.
And of course, they're looking for somebody who is going to be the next Prime Minister leading the Conservatives. I do have to ask you about Aaron OToole and where he stands, and is whether or not he's going to be the competitive candidate he's hoping to be against Peter MacKay and another strong candidate for the Conservatives.
So I don't know anyone that doesn't like Aaron OToole.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know anybody on any side of the political spectrum that doesn't like Aaron OToole. But here's the indisputable reality. He has less support in this campaign than he had in the last campaign, and he, as you might have noticed, didn't win.
Right.
So he has neighboring MPs who were with him last time are not with him now. They're with Peter MacKay. Obviously, the race has reshaped itself in the last number of days. There's no opportunity for Pierre Poilievre and Peter MacKay to get into some kind of fundamental ideological scrap that creates cleavages through which a third candidate like himself might run up the middle. All of that is left. Now he is Jack, and he's got to climb the beanstalk. And, to be honest, you got to ask, in this particular fairy tale, I think people want the giant, not the slayer.
Well, I think in this case, they need the giant and not the slayer.